I trust that you'll stay with us until 10 o'clock tonight. Welcome to you on YouTube. Welcome to all our listeners joining us from all across the world. It's great to have you. Of course, we want to start with the headlines. The Jamaican economy is recovering. The government is suggesting that the country is at a pivotal stage. Labour Minister Pernell Charles says the country is entering a critical phase of rebuilding and stabilization following last year's devastating storm. In the meantime, Jamaicans are urged to turn ideas into business opportunities. And this, of course, is in the tourism push. The government is encouraging citizens to develop products and services to strengthen the tourism sector and boost economic growth. So there are opportunities in tourism. On the crime scene, there is a major drop in murders and violent crime. Jamaica recorded about a 40% decline in murders in 2025. And so far this year, the minister opened the sectoral debate yesterday in Parliament, and lots of good news coming out of that. We're going to have to do a special program on the whole matter of crime. The politics of cost of living is also being discussed in Jamaica, with the opposition raising concerns about rising prices linked to global conflict. The opposition leader is pressing the government to address the increasing costs. Now, what is the government to do about it? That is a discussion that we will have to look at. How is it that we're going to navigate the country through this difficult period? Of course, there are lingering concerns about the cost of energy, with noticeable increase in our light bills. So the country is really at a very delicate place, balancing post-hurricane recovery, improving crime statistics, and the economic pressures from global events. Those are some of the issues that are affecting Jamaica, and we can just hope that, as we navigate these difficult times, we can be confident. We do have steady leadership, responsible leadership, and therefore all hands are needed on deck. I want to turn the pages, though, to the notes. And I want to suggest to you that Marlene Malahoo Fort may have handed the government a fourth term. Fourth term. Some time ago, I got into a bit of a trouble with Jamaica Labour Party bloggers suggesting that I was telling them that they are to come and learn. A lot of them don't even come here for reasons I don't know. But, I've gotten, sorry about that. I've gotten a little bit bolder these days. My chair is needing a little bit of adjustment. There you go. I've gotten a little bolder these days. Got a call today from someone who told me, speak the truth. Speak the truth. That is exactly what I'm going to do. I am recommitting myself to be a speaker of truth. Not that I was moving away from that. If the Jamaica Labour Party is to advance, it needs to talk to its bloggers. And some of them are not helping the party. And I listened to a program this morning, not my style, but for what it was. I was on TikTok, and I could not believe what I came upon. These are Labour Party supporters, and they are hurting the party. And I have asked, since I have come into this space, for there to be a coordinating of those voices that align themselves with the party. And I don't know that it will ever happen. I don't know if it will ever happen. But I'm going to suggest that again. That the party can benefit from online presence and from the work of the bloggers. Now, bloggers, if you're listening to me, I'm not criticizing any of you. You have your job to do. I have mine. I barely come into your space. I don't know that you come into mine. I don't lock anybody out. I don't take guests up on this program. The people who come up on this program are sent to me by the moderators. They determine who gets up on the program. I don't. My job is to produce and present. I don't manage the Politics Plus network. Caroline does. So even me have to take instructions from her. Oh boy, I tell you something. YouTubers, keep the chat busy, and please remember to support the program in any way we can. I should tell you though that as of Monday of next week, we're going to spend less time on the TikTok page, and we're going to spend more time live on YouTube. So all those persons who were yeah, we'll give you a break. Don't worry yourself. Now, I want to take you to Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort. And I'm going to encourage the labor rights to stop bashing Marlene. Leave Marlene alone. Leave Mrs. Marla Hufort alone. Because you're not helping the party, you know. Not helping the party at all. You see, Nara, I heard George Davis saying that if the government gets Nara right, the party wins a fourth term. And if they get Nara wrong, the PNP will win. In essence, that's what he said. I don't agree with George. I like George. But that is a bit simplistic. It's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that. And in essence, if it is Nara that guarantees a Labour Party win, then I think we have to examine the people of Jamaica. We have to examine the people of Jamaica and how they think, because wholeness did not cause the hurricane. Now, the real battlefield is not Parliament, you know. And if you are a Labour Party supporter, I would ask you to stop scrolling and just listen to me for 15 minutes. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help the party tonight. I'm going to give them some political strategy. The real battlefield is not Parliament. And it is not the speeches. By the way, the Parliament is not aligned. Maybe aligned is not the correct word. The truth is that the opposition is uncomfortable with the speaker. The People's National Party is not comfortable with Juliet Holness as Speaker of the House. I'm going to have more to say on that. Whether it is fair or unfair is not the issue. The issue is that the People's National Party is uncomfortable with Juliet Holness as Speaker of the House. You notice that the leader of the opposition, after he gave his presentation in the parliament yesterday, and the speaker ruled that she won't give him any more time. Sorry. He walked out. Now, I don't know whether or not he left because he had something to do or what. But he left. The opposition have a problem with the speaker. And I promise you, if I don't get to it, remind me. I will break that down and show you what is happening. The battle is not parliament. It's not the speeches, the emotions. The battle is not even the vote. The Nara bill vote, that's not it. Those are the theater. That's not the battle. That's the sideshow. All them speech you see in Parliament yesterday. Mr. Bunting, Mr. Crawford, yeah, Anthony Hilton. Don't pay them the money. All time people say, "Mount make we chat." The true contest unfolds in the minds of the citizens. And it unfolds in a very quiet and decisive question. And the question is this: does this feel like it was done with me or done to me? That's where the fourth term lies. The fourth term doesn't lie with the Nara bill, as George is suggesting. Not totally wrong, but a bit simplistic. The fourth term lies with this question: does this feel like it was done with me or done to me? And in that question, Mrs. Marlene Malafou Fort may have won the election for the government. Interesting, eh? Stay tuned. I'll show you how. Because within that question lies the political fate of Nara. The Nara bill lies right there. The governing Jamaica Labour Party, in its bid for a fourth term, and the People's National Party's path back to power lies right there. Within that little question is where the election is going to be won. Because Nara is not merely legislation. Nara is a symbolic referendum on the government. Nara is a referendum on the Jamaica Labour Party. That is why the criticisms of Mrs. Malafou Fort are misguided and they are unfortunate. In mature democracies, you see, elections are rarely decided by policy, you know. I wonder how many listeners can tell me what is in the Jamaica Labour Party's manifesto. How many persons can tell me what is in the Labour Party's manifesto? Very few. And it's not a disrespect. You don't read it. Or if you read it, it's just in the heat of the election. Elections are turned, you see, on on legitimacy, the felt sense that power is being exercised in alignment with the people. Because a government may be efficient, even correct in substance, yet still lose if its actions are feel like they are imposed. And it is a paradox in modern politics that we need to understand. Because authority can pass laws, but it is legitimacy that keeps you in power. And I'm going to say something here that I know to be true. Wholeness is the Labour Party's greatest asset. The Labour Party's strength is predominantly in their leader. And he needs more support. Legitimacy sustains power. NARA, therefore, is not being judged clause by clause. It is being judged as a signal of how decisions are made, of who is heard, and whether power listens or dictates. If it is absorbed, this bill, into the public consciousness as collaborative, it strengthens the fourth term. If it does not, then it accelerates political turnover. Write that down and mark my word. Come back to me in 2030 and tell me if I was not correct. It is into this moment steps Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort. Marlene Malahou Fort steps up to the plate. She's a senior voice in the governing party, former attorney general, former constitution minister, a former resident magistrate, a KC, JP, member of parliament. And what Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort did in parliament yesterday should be commended, not criticized. And those who criticize Mrs. Fort don't know the politics, or they have not taken the time to assess the politics. The moment Mrs. Fort spoke was a consequential moment, transcending politics, transcending parliamentary routine, because she aligned herself with calls for amendment, and it was met with approval from the opposition. They gave her a standing ovation and may have clapped their way to another defeat. What the PNP did not know, because they didn't think to know it. I don't even know if they are capable of knowing it. Is that they were standing up to clap a fourth consecutive defeat. Oh boy. Politics is a bit of a science. And that is why when I heard the labor rights criticizing her this morning, I said to myself, boy, we have a far way to go. We have a far way to go. That moment will not be remembered for its procedural significance. It will be remembered for its symbolism. What Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort did represents two competing interpretations. I learned something as a boy, that when people speak, you must not only listen what they say, but you must listen what they don't say. Everybody can chat. We don't chat here. We analyze. We sit down here on the Politics Plus network and we pick things apart. Any labor right criticizing Miss Marlene Malahou Fort is damaging their party and helping the opposition. The PNP stood up to clap, and they were clapping their way to a fourth consecutive defeat. And they didn't even know that. 14 minutes to 8 o'clock. Mrs. Fort gave the party a fourth term. Fourth. Marlene Fort opened the door to a fourth consecutive term for the government. And I applaud her. Big up, Marlene. Yeah, big up. There are two competing interpretations here. One is what is called fracture, and the other is called democratic depth. DEPTH. Fracture speaks of a government uncertain of itself, divided at a critical juncture. Do you think that is true? Is the government fractured? I heard bloggers this morning say, why doesn't she talk to them in private? Come on, guys. Come on. Think a little bit more. The second is democratic depth, a system that is capable of self-correction, where even insiders challenge power in pursuit of better outcomes. Why did Professor, what is his name? Professor, what is the professor name from the university that was a senator? He ran against Marlene. What is his name? Horton. Why did Professor Horton leave the PNP? You see where I'm going with this? The two interpretations the one that prevails will not be determined by that moment. It will be determined by what follows. If the government suppresses or distance itself from Marlene, then her stance becomes evident of internal disarray. I'm going to repeat that. If the government suppresses or distance itself from Mrs. Fort, then they amplify fracture. If the government integrates her concern into visible refinements, she becomes proof that the party is a living democracy. She makes the party attractive. The PNP were clapping their way to a fourth term. So Mrs. Fort is no longer just an actor in the process. She is a symbolic pivot. She now becomes the narrative. The competing narratives are now flowing through Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort. And I encourage every blogger tonight come off of Miss Marlene, because what she did is going to be helping, not hurting the party. Nine minutes to 8 o'clock. When Marlene breaks from simple party alignment and calls for refinement, she triggers a classic tension in the politics. She triggers power as control and power as legitimacy. Many governments, as a matter of fact, most governments instinctively default the first, power as control. But democracies survive on the second. Marlene's intervention forces the Jamaica Labour Party into a choice. She forces the party to ask a question. Will power defend itself, or will it refine itself? And that is the deepest meaning of that moment in the parliament yesterday. What is the question that will determine the next election? The question that is going to be determining the next election is, was it done with me, or was it done to me? If this was a mature audience, I would interpret that sexually for you, like Sigmund Freud. Intimacy is either done to you or with you. I hope you get what I mean. Now, when the People's National Party gave a standing ovation, the intention was obvious. What the PNP was doing was highlighting division. What the PNP was doing was legitimizing internal dissent. What the PNP was doing was signaling that the government is weak. But here's the paradox. In applauding fracture, they may have revealed a path the government need. By applauding Mrs. Ford, the opposition revealed the path the government need. Because that moment did something unintended. It elevated Marlene beyond partisan lines. She's going to win back her seat, you know. And she's going to win it back bigly. Marlene yesterday may have carved out a place in political history that many people missed. It gave her national credibility. Her name is now trending across all media spaces. This woman, I don't know the party's internal workings, but what I hear was that she's bitter because she was left out of the cabinet. Now, I don't know that Mr. Holness had discussions with Labour Party bloggers. Did Mr. Holness tell the Labour Party bloggers that he left Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort out of the cabinet? How them know that? Speculation. And quite frankly, irresponsible speculation. It made her critique harder to dismiss. And what that means is that the government now has access to something rare in politics. What a gift. I tell you, what a gift. Fort gave them a fourth term. Mark my word. It's not the Nara bill. Mrs. Fort gave the party something rare in politics. She gave them credible internal correction that the public trusts. And if the government spends that money properly, it's not a weakness. It is an asset. And I know Holness knows that because he's our best political strategist on the island right now. I know that Holness get that message. Marlene gave the Jamaica Labour Party credible internal correction. And credible internal correction is a public trust. Credibility. And the People's National Party, them not have no credibility, you know, and then turn up a clap. They don't even understand what is happening. That party over there, so, they don't even know what's going on. 89 Old Hope Road need to now go and apply for its license to become a museum. But but never clap. Clapping, you're standing up to your own defeat. A standing ovation to a fourth term under Broxton. Let me take a drink here. Let me take a drink. What do I have to drink? Do I have water? Listen to me. You know, when I look at the PNP them yesterday start up a clap, I say, my God, this a party are done. They don't have a sense. Porting them. What a set off. A man called them riffraff. My friend, My friend said them a riffraff. Well, I never call them riffraff. I think they are. I think they are political dunces. If the government use Marlene's movement correctly, they're gonna win. Um, fourth term. It's plausible, but I'm gonna give you a caution. The government must execute a conversion. This is where now I am giving the party free advice. The first thing the party needs to do is to, and in doing that, you floor the opposition. You see them over there clap? They clap into their own demise. The first thing you do is that you legitimize the dissent. Not tolerate it, legitimize it. In other words, we welcome the concern raised by Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort because they strengthen the legislation. I want to show you something here. Time is going, but I must show it to you. Because I like to educate my neighbors, you know. My family over here, you know, you keep me going, and I do my research, and I make sure that when I come up here, I come here with facts. Mrs. Marlene, you see, is not a fly-by-night woman, you know. She made quite a too little mistake when she was Attorney General and lost a couple cases, but she's not a fly-by-night. Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort is a legal thinker, not just a party loyalist. Mrs. Fort was a resident magistrate before she was 30, you know, a parish judge. Mrs. Fort's husband was a judge of the appeals court, you know. Her husband, either the Supreme Court or the appeals court. So a two judge sleep together at night time, you know. You think that this is a little fly-by-night lady? Who not depend on live criticizing? Come on, man. Do better than that. And therefore, given Mrs. Malahou Fort's background, you know that Mrs. Malahou Fort used to be the advisor to the government. Did you know that Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort used to advise the government? When you become Attorney General, you become the government's chief legal advisor, not only to the Prime Minister, but to every minister. And so before any challenge the government gets into, government we're talking, it's handled by the Attorney General. Yes. One of the things that I don't hear anybody saying is that Mrs. Marlene Malahou Fort may be avoiding or preventing the government from a court challenge. Because It is possible that there are people who can take this matter to court. One, that would be further delay. Two, the government could end up with a legal battle. What Mrs. Fort may be doing, therefore, is ensuring the bill doesn't repeat the mistakes of the earlier law. And that's not minor nitpicking. That's a structural risk management. If the law is passed as is and later is struck down, it becomes a major political, legal failure and an embarrassment to the government. Stop criticizing Mrs. Fort. She's not a dunce. So then, strategy for the party, legitimize dissent. We welcome the concern raised by the, don't even call her Marlene. Say the former Attorney General, the former Minister of Constitutional Affairs. Now, if you rise to the ranks of Constitutional Affairs Minister, you must know something about the law and bill. They strengthen the legislation. Do not tolerate it. Legitimize it. Secondly, materialize the response. Turn her words into visible change. Amendments, clarifications, safeguards. Without this, then everything collapses into spin. Thirdly, reframe the narrative. Shift the public's meaning from they are divided. That's what the public is saying now. That's what the bloggers are doing. The bloggers for the Jamaica Labour Party. That's what they are doing. Giving an impression to the public that the party they support is divided. Tell me how that helped the party. Someone need to sit down with these bloggers, man. You have to reframe the narrative. You shift it from they are divided to they are careful. Fourthly, you broaden the signal. You show that this is not just a one-off matter, but a governing style. A government that listens, a government that adjusts, a government that refines. And if you execute that properly, this moment does not become a negative. It does three powerful things. And it does it electorally. One is that it neutralizes the arrogance of power that the PNP is pushing. Marlene reopens the system. Two, it rebuilds procedural trust. Even skeptics are going to say, at least them a listen. That alone stabilizes the government support. Because when I apply the matrix today, and I look at the political history, don't have time to get into all of that. Look at how people would walk away from this feeling. Out of yesterday's parliament, the opposition came out ahead in perception. The opposition came out ahead. You don't understand the people of Jamaica. And thirdly, it divides the opposition momentum. If the government adapts effectively, the opposition loses a clear attack line, and outrage becomes harder to sustain. You notice that the Gleaner this week had a lengthy editorial raising concerns about the Naira bill. Here's the hard truth. If the government mishandles this, even slightly, the opposite happens. Then Mrs. Ford becomes proof of internal confusion. The opposition standing ovation becomes a symbolic of the internal confusion. And the narrative is going to be locked into even their own. Don't trust this. That's what the PNP is going to say. That even your own don't agree with it. And at that point, the moment doesn't open the fourth term, it closes it. Now that's hard for you to accept, labor rights, but I have to tell you the truth. So in politics, power is really tested when it is opposed, That's what the opposition want to happen. Power is tested when it is challenged from within. The opposition that the government need is not on the other side over there, so the PNP. It is from within their own ranks. Can I say that again? The opposition that the party needs is not from the PNP. It is from within their own ranks. Don't let it ever be said that the labor right them over there cost Marlene. The labor right them over there cost out Marlene Malahu. Don't do that. You're only strengthening the hand of the PNP. And this moment is different because Marlene Malahu Ford has created a fork in the road. Marlene Malahu has created a fork in the road. She has created a path that leads to defensive power, and that is decline. And a path that leads to adaptive power, that's renewal. You're either going to defend it or adapt. And if you defend, you decline. If you adapt, you renew. So yes, fourth term possible. But only if the government understand what has been handed to them yesterday. Not a crisis to control, but a moment to prove to the country that power still listens. Remember this, I tell you guys. The party is in its third term. It cannot afford to come off as arrogant. It must continue to be a party that listens to the people. And Marlene has opened that up to the party in a powerful way. Because remember the question, was it done with me or was it done for me? That's the question. This is not a crisis to control. It's a moment to prove to the voters of Jamaica that the government, though it has been in power for 3 consecutive terms, is still a government that has its ears on the pulse of the people. I hear that all of the labor rights from the top listening to the program tonight. Welcome. Hope that you'll join us at some time. Eh? Welcome to the Politics Plus Network, the Hello Neighbor Show. Yeah, we support the values of the party. We support the policies of the party. We believe that the party is the better option for Jamaica at this time. We do not support PNPism. We do not support PNPism. We are people that believe in democracy. Now, listen how I'm going to bring this home. Because the real instinct among party loyalists, and when I speak of party loyalists now, I'm speaking about the bloggers, those online that click their lives and, want to impress the party. Maybe they want the likes and they see Mrs. Marlene Malahou as raw meat. So they tear her apart. Every video up there criticizing Miss Marlene, the party should order it to be taken down. Now, you know what? I don't want to suppress free speech. But if I were in, I would ask them, everyone must be taken down. Tonight, immediately, take them down. Because they are wrong. This is not going to hurt the party. It's going to help the party. And so the instinct, you see, is to defend the line. You know, when a football team is losing, when a team is losing, them send everybody to defend the goal. When a team is winning, every man is driving towards scoring goal. And what I saw between last night and this morning is that the party loyalists were trying to protect the gold. They weren't trying to score any. No, sir. You don't need to be protecting anything here, loyalists. Blunt attacks on Mrs. Marlene Malahou Ford are strategically counterproductive. They don't protect the Jamaica Labour Party. They weaken its most vulnerable asset right now. You know the most valuable asset that your party has? You should pay me for this, It's credibility. The most valuable asset that the party has is that it is seen as credible. And your opponents are not. The People's National Party is not a credible organization. Your leader, the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, Andrew Holness, is seen as credible. Why do you think the PNP for years have tried to diminish him? Let me see if I can help you a little bit further. Let me see if I can unpack this for you. In political philosophy, you see, there's a critical distinction that you have to make. Unity of voice and legitimacy of process. Unity of voice is where everyone is saying the same thing. Legitimacy of process is where people believe the system is fair and self-correcting. The supporters who are attacking Ms. Ford are prioritizing unity. The labor rights are prioritizing unity. You see, unity is not always a positive thing, you know, because we can be united to our death. There are many people who have been united to destruction. You have to be careful, you see. What are you protecting? Unity or legitimacy? Legitimacy is the people, and there is a fault with labor rights. They don't like nobody criticize them, you know. They attack you. But criticism, you see, is never negative. Is how you see it. And anybody where you see criticize you, you don't need to see it as negative. Pray for your critics. In recent times, I have found, I don't know what anyway, the voters are going to reward legitimacy, not unity. A system that allows internal challenge is a good system because it is a thinking government. A system that punishes dissent tells the people that they are authoritarian. That's what Andre Horton came out to say, the PNP. You can't have dissent in the PNP. You have to leave. So when bloggers try to shut down Mrs. Marlene, they are unintentionally shifting the perception from deliberate democracy to rigid authority. And for a government in its third term, that is not a good perception. As a matter of fact, it is politically dangerous. Remember, the government is in its third term. Only twice in our history are we ever at this point. No prime minister in our history have gotten 4 terms. PJ didn't. Michael won, and Michael won 1 term, PJ won 3. Holness, he won in 2011. No, 2016, 2020, and 2025. Bear that in mind, you hear? 3 terms the party is on. And when you criticize Mrs. Ford, it could backfire. Because what you are doing is amplifying doubt. Because the people are going to ask, why are they so defensive? There must be something deeper here. Why make them defend? What are they so defensive about? And And then when you criticize her, she gains much more legitimacy. She looks principled. The critics looks partisan. So instead of weakening her, it's elevating her. No criticism of her will weaken her. And the voters may think, if insiders can barely speak, what are they hiding? That feeds directly into the dangerous done for me, not done with me narrative. That's the question. The real opponent here is not misfortune. You know? Because you're fighting the wrong battle. Bloggers, you're fighting the wrong battle. It's the same thing when you do when you attack me. It's a wrong battle on our fight. The real opponent is not neighbor or fort. The real opponent is the narrative being built by the People's National Party. They are the real enemy. You notice they were standing up to clap? A demon of the attack. And leave on your own alone. Leave Mrs. Fort alone. Go and attack. Did you listen to Mr. Bunting? You notice I didn't play Mrs. Fort here on this program tonight? You notice I didn't play it? That's a strategic decision we made not to play it. But everybody playing her. Here's what she said. But nobody playing what the PNP said. Is the PNP is the enemy, not Mrs. Ford. When Jamaica Labour Party aligned voices attack their own, the opposition doesn't need to do anything. The government owns base is performing the opposition's argument. Why are you doing the work of the People's National Party? Why would you turn on your live and be helping the PNP? That is self-sabotage. You're sabotaging yourself. You're sabotaging your party. You're sabotaging your party that you say you love. And you're the online every day fighting for your party. And you are sabotaging your own party. I'm telling you the truth. Some of you need to lock down on the like, or not making no sense. Not making no sense. The opposition don't need to do nothing. Government's own people are performing. Hello.
What happened?
I'm having a PowerPoint.
Oh, okay.
Um, deal with this matter again, I don't want to leave it here, so because then can hello. Okay, I'm back online with you. And I really was going through a number of things having to do with the political moment that we are in. Welcome back, moderator. Yes. Uh-huh. Well, they'll do that. They're nice neighbors. We were actually just getting warm, and we lost our flow. But we're gonna pick it up. Gonna pick it up because not at all. As a matter of fact, I'm having some folks meeting me from Trelawney. I have a meeting with them just about 10 minutes after 10 o'clock. So I need to get somewhere by 10 past 10, because I have some folks coming up from Trelawney to meet with me. You understand? And I'm sure you do. Um, yes, you don't. Okay. Well, um, that is what it is. But I want to finish this. I want to finish it, and I only have another hour and 12 minutes left on the program. I think the listeners should be aware that we're going to go to YouTube next week. Yes, and we'll continue to do the day show here on TikTok. But I was being very critical of the Jamaica Labour Party. Can you see if you can get Scratchy for me? Please, 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 moderator. You know what is called the strategic reality. I've gotten so many text messages tonight and from members of the party thanking me for doing this for them tonight. Well, you are welcome. You are welcome, labor rights. You are welcome. My phone has a lot of text messages from people say that they are party members, and they are so happy that I took the time out to do this for them tonight. You are welcome. And if you please get in touch with my moderator, and send the check to her. Okay, get in touch with her. The strategic reality: you're fighting the wrong battle. You're fighting the wrong battle. If you and your wife have an argument, you don't tell your neighbor. Well, you take it, go telling your neighbor. That no make no sense. The real opponent is not Fort. Fort has given you a fourth term. Okay? The real opponent is the narrative that is being built by the People's National Party. The PNP is your problem, and then you have to fight. And when voices aligned to the Jamaica Labour Party attack Mrs. Fort, the opposition doesn't need to do anything. because the government's own base performs the opposition's argument, which is they don't listen, even to their own. And that is sabotage. You are sabotaging your party. Sabotage. You bloggers, some of you are loud and proud. Some of you are loud and proud. But you are sabotaging the vehicle that is expected to take you towards the fourth term. Bad strategy. You are fighting the wrong battle. And I'm going to tell you the fourth advantage. F-O-R-T-E. F-O-R-T-E. That the supporters are missing. Because right now, Mrs. Fort is uniquely valuable to the government. Mrs. Fort is valuable to the government. Uniquely so. Valuable to the party. More than a lot of you. Okay? More than a lot of you. Because she has internal credibility. She now has cross-partisan recognition, and she represents conscience within power. And that combination is rare, you know. And if the government handles it correctly, she allows the government to say, we are strong enough to question ourselves. When you attack her publicly, proof that questioning is punished. The Labour Party cannot be that organization that punishes those who question authority. And those are completely two different political stories. And I want the bloggers to learn a lesson in political strategy. And this I'm speaking directly to the bloggers. Lesson number 1. Not every disagreement is disloyalty. Repeat, not every disagreement is disloyalty. Not because your wife don't agree with you means she's disloyal. No means that she a cheat. Disagreement is not disloyalty. Bloggers, learn that. Because in any mature political system, controlled dissent builds trust. It reduces backlash and it improves outcomes. And when you treat dissent as betrayal, is a sign of insecurity, not strength. When dissent is treated as betrayal, it is insecurity, not strength. The silence of the government MPs is not strength. Not strength at all. Lesson number 2. Your audience is not just your base. Your audience is not just your base. Hardcore supporters already agree with you, you know. You're not trying to win them. Hardcore supporters already agree with you. Your real audience are the undecided voters, the soft supporters, the skeptics that are watching the tone and the behavior, and aggressive internal attacks alienate them. Not the base. The base are rock stone laborites. They're not change. Your audience is not just your base. Thirdly, tone communicates more than content. You're a content creator. Tone communicates more than the content. I heard a man this morning cussing bad word. You may be defending the party, but what people feel is intolerance, rigidity, anxiety, and those emotions shapes votes. Your tone is even more important than your content. There are some platforms, they will not contribute one dege vote to the victory of the Jamaica Labour. Not even one. And you can all bash me tomorrow. Come and get the tape because you know that what I'm showing you. There are some platforms that will not contribute one dege vote to the Jamaica Labour Party. Not one. And I hope that this platform contributes to undecided voters, those who are soft voters, and those who are skeptics. Tone communicates more than content. Fourthly, discipline beats emotions. Discipline beats emotions. I'm going to tell you something about advertising. The station with the most listeners don't necessarily make the most money from advertisers, you know. Crowd is not only what you look at, you know. Advertisers are not only looking at the crowd, you know. The radio station in Jamaica that has the most listeners don't necessarily make the most money, you know. And who are listen and what they can buy. Because if you're selling Porsche and Mercedes Benz, it don't make no sense you go advertise it in a some place because nobody that can buy that. There are audience where buy Pro Box. And there are audience that buy Benz. What would you prefer? What would you prefer if you're selling Benz? You can't be selling Benz and advertising it to Pro Box owner. And no disrespect to the Pro Box man, just using an analogy. Discipline beats emotion. Politics rewards restraint. The smarter move is acknowledge her concerns, pivot to solutions, and reinforce unity through purpose, not pressure. Don't allow the bloggers to tear down Mrs. Ford, because in doing so, they are handing a gift to the People's National Party. And if you love your party and you want your party to really win a fourth term, and you can't see, so the PNP is using NARA to divide the country, you're blind. That's just the raw politics of it. Instead of attacking the lady, the optimal position is this is exactly how strong leadership works. Questions are raised, and we make the policy better. And what that does is it reframes dissent into refinement, tension into strength, and it directly answers the electorate core question: are they governing with us? Every good teacher knows this, that you say to your students, let's do this together. Don't just give them, see your homework upon the board. Every good teacher knows that. Let's do it together. Before I go to protecting Jamaica, right now, many supporters are reacting emotionally to a perceived break in ranks. But politics at this level isn't about emotional defense. It's about narrative control. And every public attack on Marlene Malahou Ford does one of two things. One is that it strengthens the opposition's story. And two, it weakens the government's claim to legitimacy. So the real discipline required is this. Don't defend the party in a way that damages the story the party needs to win. The story that the party needs to win is that it is legitimate. Because in the end, elections aren't decided by who shout the loudest, internally. They are decided by how the public interprets what they see. And right now, the public, they are watching very carefully. Politics is narrative before argument, But I can't get into that because that's another half an hour. And I only have a short time left. Good evening to you, protecting Jamaica. Sorry for the hold up. You hear, man? Yeah. Protected. I don't know how much you listen to the views across the media landscape since last night. But one thing, and I think you said it here first, that the fourth term is dependent on what is happening in the parliament now. Am I correct? You agree with you agree with that? Well, I can do that. Hold on. Okay. Let me see if I can check that. Hold on. Protecting. We're streaming live on YouTube. Okay. Wow. Who wins? Yeah. We're streaming live on YouTube. Go ahead, Protecting. Wow. Let me hear you. Who wins? Yeah.
We're streaming live on YouTube.
Go ahead, Protecting. Let me hear you.
Wigs, yeah. We're streaming live on YouTube.
Go ahead, Protecting. Let me hear you.
Wigs, yeah. We're streaming live on YouTube.
No, yeah, I'm not hearing him at all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you quite well, Protected. I'm not so sure what is happening. Yes, sir. Well, thank you. Yes. Yes. In other words, the PNP may be standing. They gave a standing ovation to their defeat if the government handles this moment well. Yeah, that's even better. They clapped into a trap. Yeah. To be smart about this moment. What about the castigating of horror on social media by Labour Party for yeah, okay, okay, yes, yes, yes. I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget this, but could she be protecting them from a lawsuit from yeah,
To be according to my understanding of what was being discussed in the parliament. There will have to be a few amendments.
yes,
Now, when the amendments are done, the opposition cannot claim or make any claim to having
so
put forward these now changing
it
position.
came
The
straight from the
government,
government. It came straight
right?
from
The
members of
government can now say it is our government member who realized these deficiencies in the bill and we have listened to her.
Yes,
And as such, we have made the corrections and the adjustment to the bill. So the
absolutely.
opposition walked right into a trap and they didn't realize.
Well, I tell you, I wonder if it's a deliberate trap set up by the government.
It could be, but
And-
even if it is not,
yes,
it is a damn good trap, neighbor, that
I-
they walked into.
I think so.
No, politics is not a situation that requires emotion.
Yes,
In advanced democracies, more mature democracies, yes, there's a little emotion, but politics is by and large on the logical positioning of citizenry as it relates to issues affecting them, whether at the time or for a protracted period of time. But very little emotion is practiced in advanced democracies. And I continue to remind myself and those of us who listens to me that our democracy is still young and it is going to take some time for people to understand that it should be on the issues in a logical way and not emotions. Now, I remember countless times as we have had this discussion, I try my best to point out that many of the people we see on social media who participate in the political discussion,
yes,
they are not politicians. They're not politically inclined. Many of them, they really approach it from an emotional standpoint. They love the party. They think they're participating in the discussion while contributing to the survival of their party politically. And sometimes I don't think they stop to consider that when there's too much emotions in this whole thing, then it doesn't go down well. It's not for good digest for those who listens. No, I have observed that many people who have been commenting on what Marling did, they really don't understand the politics, but it is more so from an emotional standpoint that they have commented. And while I do not agree and I do not put up with that kind of approach, because at the end of the day, neighbor, the messaging around the politics, if you understand the politics, can steer you out of any situation.
that is absolute. Say that again. Say that again, sir.
The messaging can steer you out of
And
any situation.
and PJ Patterson was master at that.
He was the master of all of that. He
Yes, sir.
survived.
Yes,
He survived 14 and a half years, and he helped the PMP to survive 18 and 3/4 years because of this. Masterful. Now, Marlene, having stood up in the parliament, as she has a right to do, her constituents sent her to the parliament as an independent member of parliament.
yes,
Having contributed to the discussion based on her understanding and her political and her professional knowledge.
which pause there protecting. She's a former advisor to the government, being attorney general, a resident magistrate,
a former judge,
yes, a KC. So she does have a fine legal mind.
Yeah, right.
And her husband.
Yes, Mr. Ford, who I know very well.
Yes.
No. Those who comment should really have taken a step back, try to understand how this thing can be redirected or how this thing could be messaged in a particular way. Because at no point at all, and that is the reason why I tell you that we're dealing with some political neophytes on the space, and we have to take time with them as we try to advise them. At no point at all, your side. I know people who literally run onto a football field.
Yes.
And embed themselves into the game before the ref even realize, because they realize that the midfielder now play good and they want their side to win. We have to understand the politics to a level where when it is time for offense, we go on the offensive. And when it is time for the defense, we go on the defensive. In this matter, it is time now to take what Marlene did, package it, and redirect it to the audience, because guess what? Just as how many are confused in the party, there are many outside the party who are confused too.
Absolutely correct, sir.
And we will have to help them to understand
Absolutely
what's
correct.
happening.
Absolutely
and if we
correct.
Lead the charge, if we lead the charge with the narrative, if we lead the narrative, then we can form the foundation of the understanding that they would have taken from it starting this morning.
May I ask you a question, sir? Wouldn't it be good if last night the bloggers could have had a meeting, discuss this with senior people to say, here's the strategy, before everybody is just allowed to come out and start bashing the lady and not craft a political strategy behind this? Because even if she was wrong, it can be packaged to make the party look good, sir.
Neighbor, we don't even need to do much of a packaging. This is showing democracy operating at its highest.
Wow.
You see, when I don't expect my wife to agree with me all the time.
No,
I have some friends as a neighbor.
Yes.
If I read, them I tell me.
Yes. And those are your real friends.
Okay. And I'm my best friend, them, man, two of them. And when them I tell me, it is sometimes in no uncertain term, because they're going to make sure me get it, I read. At the end of conversations like those, which are tough conversations, I learn to appreciate my friendships even better.
Yes.
No. There is nowhere. Okay, what if it was Warmington? Everybody love Warmington. Who do you say, oh, Warmington that, Warmi that? Because that's how Warmi has done over the past 10 years. Warmi has created the balance in the governance structure from within the party. Warmi has from time to time raised concerns and issues that I am sure has given the party even more credibility than it usually has.
Yes.
What is so different with this lady who have professional knowledge of laws?
Yes.
What is so different with her now in her contribution to this new bill is saying to the government, the bill needs some reworking. A matter of fact, the Prime Minister from the outset says he doesn't expect the bill is perfect.
My goodness, man.
Through the debate. It is through the debate that he expects that with whatever all agree on, then there will be some amendments.
Yes.
So what is this issue? The Prime Minister said this in the opening of the debate on the bill.
Yes.
He said it.
So the opposition's applause is a strategic misread of this moment, protecting.
The emotion that I spoke of earlier, neighbor, that is not unnecessary in the politics.
But why a political party of their history and stature would not have read this? Because I saw it this morning. I mean, I just sat down for 5 minutes and said, let me think about it. And I then start to say, but guess what? This is a fork. Miss Marlene Malahoo may have handed the government a fourth term, because if Nara,
the PMP is a dunce group of people. You know, you run out of time because you have to go meet your country people. Them. But the PMP
no man, we have about 40 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, go ahead.
The PMP currently, the current construct of the PMP are political numbskulls. And they are led by another political numbskull. Well, he's a numbskull overall. No. They thought, because I'm reading them, because I watched the proceedings and I was reading into, what they were doing. And yes, number one, it was an attempt by them to delay the process. Even so much so that when the speaker inquired as to all the other names that are on the thing, them just sit down, they don't want to speak. Them say next week because they want to dry it out. Okay? No. Separate and apart from that, their arguments are not in support of the bill. It doesn't matter what kind of loophole and what kind of issues they
Yes, of
wanted
course.
to identify. And if the issues were legitimate, it doesn't matter. Their arguments collectively are not in support of a NARA. And we know why, neighbor.
Yes.
Because one
Yes.
entity, which is a non-governmental entity, no politician will have control over almost $3 trillion that will be spent.
Absolutely.
So we know the PMP and that already.
Yes.
But while they were making those arguments, they thought that while they appeal to their base, it would make much sense for them down the road if something go wrong.
Uh-huh.
Now, having seen Mrs. Malawu Ford stood up, and I saw that they were very attentive.
Yes.
Because I realized that they really wanted to see where she was going. And her having fed them the red piece of beef, it was pure emotion that gave her that standing ovation, and they clapped right into a trap. They clapped into a trap.
But before you tell us about the trap, is it possible that the government could mishandle this? Could they mishandle it?
I don't think so, neighbor, because even with the bill currently as it is, not considering
but the supporters are mishandling it based on what I'm hearing online. Well, I hope it will stop.
I believe, again, neighbor, you know my position again on the politics. Because you see, this is a bill. This is a bill to introduce a policy for the spending of almost $3 trillion, right?
Yes.
Policy cannot, there's no policy that exists without the politics, you know my position on that, neighbor. Now, yes, the Prime Minister had a meeting with G2K today.
Mm-hmm.
The new semblance of the body. I don't know exactly what was discussed, but guess what? This is where G2K and Young Jamaica now can shine like stars. The political messaging covering the government, but also covering Mrs. Malawu Ford as she stood up to cover the government, because I believe that
Absolutely.
This was purely
that is what you think she did.
Yes,
yes.
She was taking, a matter of fact, the political hits that she's getting from within by the bloggers. I think she calculated it and knew that this would probably come. No, this is how you cover, this is how you provide political cover. This is how you take some licking at your back, some scars for the team.
Yes, right.
This is how the defender slide into a tackle. I might end up get a red card, or he might get a yellow.
To save the team.
Save a goal.
Team can't lose. That is so good. That is so good, yeah.
And she has played this, as I said, whether it was deliberately or otherwise done. This is the perfect opportunity for the party.
Yeah.
To now take up the political side of it and message around it.
Yes.
To take this thing out of the PMP's arguments.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Now, it is so perfect that
absolutely.
Tomorrow morning, the politics should be having a statement out there tomorrow morning to say that we thank member Malawu Ford for her timely intervention.
Yes.
And we are taking her concerns into consideration. Are her concerns not the opposition concerns? Of course, there are some of them raised some of the concerns that she has. But guess what? Because she provided this off-ramp, a fair concern we are dealing with. So the PMP will have no part in this when the corrections are made.
No part in it, sir.
Even though Isaac Buchanan was very sober with his presentation. Not even him I go get any mileage out of this, because we now have Marlene for Pine Pond. So because of her intervention, we have made some changes to the bill, and the bill is now better. Now, when a time for pass the bill, the PMP can't protest no more because guess what? They gave her a standing ovation and a fair opinions were used to fix the bill. Therefore, once they agreed with her and a fair position were used, the bill good. Simple. Politics that. 101.
Yeah, you're fantastic, fantastic. So then protecting. How then you think you see the government embracing Marlene? Marlene is coming under some attack. You would advise the attackers to ease off and to look at the politics in the way that you have placed it before us tonight. I see my listeners saying that you should go on other platforms and make this presentation. You prepared to do it?
I mean, once I'm available in a neighbor, I'm always available.
Neighbor, could you please add HR Guru, please?
Yeah.
Once I'm available,
yes,
I always make myself. I'm always ready to share another platform because, as I said to you, the other people are people who I started out commenting on issues publicly on their platforms.
Yes.
Today I wanted to jump on because I knew that this would happen. Today I wanted to jump on to Black Kings Live, but I was busy. Was very busy.
Okay, let me ask you this. George Davis this morning said that in essence that if the party mishandles Nara, I don't know. I'm getting a message. I mean, okay. If the party mishandles Nara, it could be the an opening for the opposition People's National Party. Do you agree with that?
Yes, neighbor, but remember I said this last night,
Yes, you did.
Remember I said it last night that it is now going to be a kind of situation where the government has to be careful. It has to be careful. Now, there's one good thing coming out of this whole thing, and the one good thing is that no politician now go spend the money. So if you notice the opposition's arguments aren't about the politician spending the money. The opposition argument is about who is this and who this one is reporting to and who is going to make this final decision and who is going to form, because it cannot be that they are going to make any sensible statement opposite to that.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we are already assured that no politician now will spend the money. Now that in itself, the credibility of the government, neighbor, I think it is unshaken, even though we know of this situation that we need to message around, because the credibility of the government is being shored up by the very fact that the government even considered to use an independent body to spend this money. So the credibility of the government, the credibility of the leader of the government is still intact.
Mm-hmm.
It is how we move forward. The government need to understand that we are going to have to provide the political cover. How much weeks now, how much months now, neighbor, you hear me talk about political cover?
Boy, I tell you.
Yeah. We're going to need to provide the political cover. So right now, we really should not be feeding into any argument coming from the PMP. We shouldn't be feeding into anything. We should be providing the cover, sensible political cover. If Mrs. Malawi Ford's intervention is of any good neighbor, I will say to you, it is the only move and the only intervention that has secured the fourth term.
It is. I and you are on one page. I say fourth. Fourth yes, has opened the door for a fourth term. Brilliant.
Fourth for the fourth.
Brilliant.
Fourth for the fourth.
Yeah.
And
yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. HR Guru, let me hear what you have to say on this. Hello, sir. Be judicious with your time. You hear? I only have 25 minutes.
Good evening, neighbor.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Listen, this is my position, neighbor. What happened in the parliament? I agree with protecting. What happened in the parliament yesterday?
Yes.
Is a demonstration of how a mature democracy is supposed to work.
But how do you respond to the MPs that were stone faced and didn't even give her a hand? How do you respond to that? And the supporters of the party who all day have been drawing her over the coal for it. What's that?
Right. You see. With regards to the supporters of the party, the bloggers, you see, while we support, and I know we support the same political movement, I also appreciate the fact that we're not homogeneous in thinking. So you will always have that neighbor. You will always have that part of the politics, that immature part, that emotional part, that passionate part of the politics. You will never get rid of it, right? So I take it for what it is. Emotion. I tried my best when I have the time and space to edify, but it always rests in the back of my mind that you will always have that part of the politics where the thinking and the feeling is not homogeneous. Yeah.
Yes.
No. So regarding Fort Malahou's colleagues in the parliament yesterday. That is also a part of the politics, because while Ford stood up in the parliament and she made her contribution, which some persons take it as an affront against the party. It's not so. It's not so, because the bill can only improve from her contribution. It can't get any worse. It can only be better. And that's I only wish that especially the bloggers and social media for the Labour Party would understand and appreciate that our contribution will only inure to the benefit of the party.
Yes.
And the entire passage of this bill.
Yeah? Yes.
So people need to understand that. Some persons are saying they would have appreciated the fact if Malahou would have pulled the Prime Minister aside or the Cabinet aside and made our concerns known. But I said that would make sense. First of all, we are operating from a position where we don't know what the plans are. We don't know if there's a strategy behind what Mali did yesterday. We don't know. Yeah? We don't know if some quiet decision was taken for her to stand up on the floor of Parliament and make that contribution. We don't know. But because why people are upset, neighbor, is because the PNP, the opposition, was applauding. And so they thought Marlene's contribution gave ammunition to the People's National Party. That's not the case at all. In fact, it took away power from them.
Yes.
It took away power from them.
I think so too. I think so. I think they are neophytes. They are political neophytes. I don't think they understand what is happening at all before them. I think they have missed a moment there. They think that they have won a moment yesterday. I think they have missed it. If this is not strategic by the government, I think that the government can turn it into a brilliant strategy.
Of course. Yeah. Certainly. Of course.
Yeah. It's a fourth moment, sir. It's a fourth moment for a fourth term. I am not one who thinks that the fourth term is a walk in the park, HR. I think that when I look at the political history of Jamaicans and how Jamaicans think, third term, a government in its third term must come across as looking like a government that continues to listen to the people. Not true?
Yes.
That doesn't come across as being arrogant, because anything they do, people are going to say, because they're in there a long time, them coming across as being arrogant. I think that this moment must be embraced as one where people can look on and say, it's a democratic party. They are listening to each other. You understand? In other words, they are listening to the people, even people who are outside of the cabinet.
But neighbor, what I want people to understand as well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that Marlene in this term is not a part of the cabinet. It's a good thing. We don't know if her being outside of the cabinet in this new parliament.
Absolutely, and that is one of the things that
strategy.
I didn't
Yeah,
like
it's
either,
a good
because
thing.
people are saying, you know, she's bitter. I don't know why she's
No,
out of
not
it.
at all. Not at all. People just don't understand, because they say if Marlene was a part of the cabinet, she could not have stood up yesterday and made that contribution, because in our system,
Collective responsibility.
Right, there you go. There you go. So she can't come out, she can't be a part of the cabinet and go speak against it.
Right.
So it was good that she wasn't a part, and she's not a part of the cabinet, or else the parliament and by extension the cabinet couldn't have benefited from her contribution yesterday, which is a salient one.
Fantastic point, sir. MP Chuck,
Eva,
how are you doing, man?
I am doing excellent, sir. Excellent.
Chuck, labor rights are suggesting that MP Marlene is providing ammunition to the opposition. The opposition themselves are applauding her contribution. How you look at it?
Eva, yes, you can say we are giving them ammunition here, but that ammunition will be to use on themselves. But sometimes we have to not only follow politics, but we have to also understand politics.
Tell us. Yes.
It is a very tricky sport.
Yes.
And I believe that in Jamaica today, and Jamaican wholeness is possibly the smartest politician walking around today. Nothing that happens on the government side of parliament is an accident. Nothing that happens.
Say that again.
Some of us,
Say that again.
Nothing that happened on the government side of parliament is an accident. Marlene Malahu Ford is an ardent supporter of Andrew Holness. From the day he took up the leadership of the party, from the day she entered the politics, she has been one and will continue to be one, neighbor. Some of us, we need to trust in our party, trust in our elected officials,
and the leaders,
and the prime minister. Trust the leader. The leader knows exactly what he is doing. The team know exactly what they are doing. Here's how you play politics in this stage, neighbor. Let me tell you the politics of it, and it will come clear to some people.
Yes.
Neighbor, the PMP is clamoring. We need this bill to pass urgently. Now, what we can't do politically is accede to the demands of the PMP. That is gonna look weak on our side. We can never do that.
In other words, you can make them make the suggestions
No.
for the bill to be corrected.
No, they can't come from them.
Wow.
It must be coming from our side. Somebody on our side recognize a problem and we will fix it. that is just the thing, Chuck. You can't take it from you. That is politics.
That is politics.
That is politics, neighbor. We can't give it. Yes, the opposition made some good suggestions. Yeah, they are good enough, but guess what? We're not going to fix it because you say so.
Yeah.
We're not give that power.
Yeah.
We have done that has been done to Mark Golden twice and he never stopped talking about it. I mean, the biggest solicitor, we're not giving that power.
So when they stood up to clap yesterday, they don't even realize that they are clapping a strategy.
They were played.
They
have been played.
Yeah, I think so.
They have been played by a political genius that is Andrew Michael Holness. Nobody will ever be surprised on anything that's happening. The opposition, the government side of the parliament neighbor is working in unity. Every single member, from those in the cabinet to those sitting on the back bench.
But if you listen to Marlene, and a lot of people don't play this part, she said, I don't know what they're clapping for over there, but I know that I am in full support of my government. Did you hear her say that, sir? I don't know what they're clapping for.
I did.
But I know that I am in support of my government. I want my government to succeed.
If I can say, Chuck.
I know this was the plan of the government. So as HR said earlier, okay, yes, we are going to tweak a few things. But when we come back next week, now remember, you were in agreement with everything that she said. So what are you going to complain about next week?
Wow.
Tell me what
Right.
you complain about next week.
If nothing, maybe you know what it demonstrated for me yesterday. When the opposition got up to their feet to applaud, you know what it demonstrates? It demonstrates a level of desperation for the coming from the opposition, because
Oh yes.
in my mind, it depicted them as dogs salivating for a bone. So
Oh yes. And they looked incredibly weak. I must tell you the truth. When I look, by the way, a lot of their presentations were pretty poor too. Pretty poor. Chuck, before you move on. Chuck, before you move on. It is clear, Chuck, that the opposition wants to delay this bill.
Neighbor, that's something I've been saying from last week, neighbor.
Yes.
It is not politically good for the opposition, for the government to spend 1.9 trillion in the next 4 years. It is not good for them. It is good for the people of Jamaica, but not good for the PNP.
But the objections that they are raising seem to be that the Prime Minister will be the minister in charge of NAR. That is the line, that somehow Holness must not be in charge of this. But who else could be put in charge of it?
Deba, the Prime Minister went to the people in September last year, was given control of this country to lead it. We don't need Mark Golden's permission. Deba, some of these things that the PNP is asking for, neighbor. 20 years ago, 30 years ago in this country, we didn't have an integrity commission. We didn't have a FID. We did not have a MOCA. We did not have an active auditor general. These are oversight body that we have now, neighbor. You cannot ask oversight when we have more oversight than we can ever need right now, neighbor. We have more oversight than we can ever need. You can't answer these things. What the PNP want to do, neighbor, is to delay this bill. They want to delay the rebuilding of Jamaica for political purpose.
Yeah, I don't like when supporters of the party give support to the PNP, sir, and attack their own. What can you do to curtail that and to just let them know that no attack here, Chuck.
I have spoken to quite a well. They don't listen to me. Nothing. I tell them same thing. Nothing that happens in the parliament is by accident. So all we have to do is trust our leader. Once you have faith in the leader, you will see everything play out in front of you. But neighbor, Labour Party bloggers and social media neighbor, are independent persons.
Agree.
They buy their own credit. They put on their own thing. So in the end, no one can tell them how to use it.
Yes.
No one can tell them how to use it. So they're gonna use it to do what they think. But some of them neighbor, when they sit down and they think about things over there, they will get the picture, neighbor. And that's how we hope it will go.
Absolutely. And even if it was not strategy, Chuck, which I believe it is, the fact of the matter is that any organization that kills internal dissent is not a good one.
I'll give you an example. No, not an example, a comparison. Even if something is wrong, Marlene would have seen something in the bill and she would have spoken up about it. Tell me the name of one PNP supporter, one PNP member that has come out and spoken about Jack Den and Dennis Card.
Yeah. None.
Not one.
Nor did any of them see anything good in the bill.
Nor did any of them see anything good in the bill.
So the bill is all bad.
The bill is all bad. But it's not bad for the people of Jamaica, it's bad for the PNP. That's just simply, it's bad for the PNP, and that is what they're fighting, neighbor. This bill, we could rebuild Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Montego Bay, and everywhere within the next 3 years. But that is not good for PNP. It's good for the people of Jamaica, but not for PNP, not for Mark Golden and his people. And that is why if they're allowed to, they will do everything in their power to stop it.
Yeah, I found it interesting, Chuck, that the Gleaner came out with an editorial raising. As a matter of fact, I've never seen the Gleaner written such a long editorial raising several concerns about the Nara bill. You see the strategic Chuck, that so the pressure groups and the media are joining the chorus of opposition.
I also Jamaican for Justice push out them head today.
Did they?
They are coming out. Yes. So they put out a report today. Yeah, but this is coming out of a meeting. Just they met over the weekend at Hope Road and has decided to come out with this strategy. It's simple. They have all of them met at Hope Road over the weekend and has come out with this strategy. So they're gonna come out swinging. Listen to them coming out. The Gleaner, Observer, CBM, TVJ. They're all gonna come out there.
But you think you
the one
yes, and in terms of the contributions in Parliament, Chuck, you notice a lot of them were not even prepared yesterday, and they knew the bill was going to be debated.
Yeah, but it's not that they weren't prepared enough. They have nothing in the bill to complain about.
Yeah.
There is nothing for them to complain about. They're just complaining because they were told to.
Yes. Obstruction is there, eh?
Obstruction is there, but that's
why did Mr. Golden walk out of the Parliament yesterday, sir, after the Speaker said, listen, man, your time is up? Why? What?
Probably the home I want to go eat some.
well, maybe. Well, anyway, Chuck, take care of yourself. I'm running out of time.
All right, dear, let's up yourself.
Big up yourself. Honeybee.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Hi.
For me, what Malalu Fort did yesterday was just strategic.
Okay.
For me, what she did, normally for me with Malalu Fort, I'm not really surprised because she's such a strong legal mind.
Yes.
And the good thing about it, what she did, they stand up and they give a standing ovation, clapping. And I remember when she said, I don't know what you're clapping for.
Yes.
So I don't know how the bloggers did see that part. I didn't hear that part. You see, it is important to listen to the whole thing and don't just come away with a little part and make your own assumption. It's important to listen. And that's what they did not do yesterday. They did not listen. Right? Because if you are a blogger and you're blogging for the Labour Party, you should listen that you can be informed and that you can make the correct assumption and don't just come away with a little thing and then you look foolish after a while. Because if anybody listen to Malalu Fort, she's speaking from a legal standpoint and she's trying to protect the government at the end of the day. Because remember, the PNP have a style when they don't get their way, they go to court.
Yes.
So that's what, with she making that statement about the amendment, they can't say they demand it. Because they always come with some propaganda. They claim things that are not theirs. So with she making this statement yesterday, they can't say it's theirs. So when they come next week, as everybody said, protecting and Chuck, they have nothing to complain about. You were happy that she said the bill will be amended. So you have nothing to complain about. So there should be no reason why the bill cannot be passed next week. Because this bill is urgent. Because Jamaica cannot wait. The moment we wait, we are going to delay the development of Jamaica. And this is important. And there's a window in which we can use this money. And when we don't use it, remember things go up every day. Interest rate climbs. And inflation already killing us. So what will we be waiting for?
Yes.
So what happened yesterday, she did the correct thing in order to silence them. As a matter of fact, when you're going to a party, you don't know what nobody talking about, but there's the conversation, I don't have a clue what they're talking about. That's what happened to them yesterday.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I tell you, ma'am, when I saw them clapping, I said, these guys are walking into a trap and they don't even see. Wow.
They walk into the ants nest with milk all over them.
Yeah.
And didn't even know it. And that is it. Because Malalu Fort, when she says something, if you listen to this woman all the time, she don't speak with any vulgarity. She speak with a legal mind. She always speaks from a legal perspective. And she's not a loud person. She always speaks softly and hit it exactly where it belongs.
Our neighbor.
Yes.
Please allow me to interrupt. Listeners, just want to let you know that as of Monday at 7 p.m. Jamaican time, we will be streaming live from our YouTube channel. Please go over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel at the Hello Neighbor Show. Thank you much.
Thank you so much. Honeybee, that's a nice intervention, but you to come back tomorrow. You're here. I'm running out of time.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honeybee. Do you listen to this program a lot?
Every day.
Wow. You know there's a Honeybee on Nationwide? Not you?
So I heard.
You listen to the program every day, man. What changes would you like us to make?
For me, neighbor, I like the way, most of all, I love Scratchy. Always on point.
He still get his own program.
Always on point. And for me, it is so informative because if I miss something, I can always tune in and I get to catch up.
Yes.
Because sometimes during the days I may miss something, and as soon as I sign into your program, I said, "Oh my Lord, I didn't even remember about that." And I'll get the information right here, and I can be sure that it's the correct information. It's not a propaganda.
Yes.
So it's safe. It's safe to listen.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, ma'am, I thank you. I really thank you. And let me tell you something. By the way, McGovern, Charmaine, boy, I tell you, there are some people who called me today to offer me words of encouragement and support. And
Please to continue.
I really appreciate it, ma'am.
Program like yours, we really do need program like yours because we barely
made it here today, ma'am. We barely made it here today. Barely made it here today.
God will give you the strength.
Yeah, well, it's not about it's not about health.
God will give you the strength.
Yeah.
That'd be hard.
Yeah, we barely made it. But thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Protecting Jamaica.
Yes, neighbor.
Yes, so we let's bring the curtains down, protecting. So you don't see any dissent here protecting. You don't see anything for the government supporters to worry about. You think that this is just perfectly set up for the government to score a goal, and the PNP may have just scored an own goal.
I don't see any dissent, but even if it was dissent, at this point it's not valid. My job is to ensure that the government comes out at the better end of this. Now, you see, those who are saying that the lady is bitter, they're really not paying attention. That's why I tell you about these people who just want the tops and the roses. They really don't pay attention to what's happening. I remember the last election, the lady almost didn't run.
Uh-huh.
Her husband was sick for almost half of the last term. Mr. Ford was very sick, bedridden.
Yes.
And because of ministerial duties, she did not get much of time to spend. And she made it clear that she did not want to run again.
Yes.
And she was somehow convinced to run again. So I can just imagine that a part of convincing her to run again and a part of her decision to run again is that she wouldn't take up ministerial duties. Come on, we have to know things and we have to be emotionally intelligent. We have to be smart.
Yes.
Because remember, this is an open space and we have to know what we say on here. Because trust me, enough of what was said will be used when an election comes around. We have to be careful.
Yes.
She provided one of the best coverage any political organization could get. And I am proud of her intervention. I feel good about her intervention. It is now for us to go out there and do the work to help the people to understand what her intervention means and how they should think about it. and how they should and where they should situate it in the grand scheme of things.
Do you provide any support to the party protecting in terms of strategy? Do you?
Not directly. I could, but again, I have to remain anonymous, so I choose not to directly. But I do indirectly through some means. And I tell you, a lot of my suggestions, they have been taken into consideration.
Uh-huh.
When we speak openly like this, one of the reasons why we have to be careful. The PMP listen to me too, you know.
Yes.
And they use what I say to formulate their strategy. They include many of the positions that I hold in their strategy. So, for example, I might encourage the government or suggest to the government to do this particular way. The PMP just do the flip side of it.
Yeah.
Just do the flip side of it and carry it out, and that's strategy for them. So we have to be careful, we have to be mindful of this, and we have to be very careful when we come in the space, because the space is not used only by us. And remember, our overarching duty is to protect the government.
Yeah.
And sometimes in doing that, in order to do that effectively, we have to be slow to emotion, be slow to an emotional response to anything. Try to at least understand it first. Give it a little time to breathe off. If you don't understand it enough, if you can't strategize around it, make it stay. Don't add insult to injury.
Yeah.
And I hope tomorrow morning, when everybody rise, the political discussion will be different. This is good strategy. It is one of the best off-ramps. It is one of the biggest political slaughter the PMP are going to ever get in this matter, because they will not be able to claim any upside
Yeah.
to the amendments.
Protecting the numbers have gone way up. By God, I feel bad. But let me ask you this, sir, as you go, is this not part of kind of a disrespect to the Prime Minister to think that he doesn't have things under control? Laborites shouldn't put more trust in their leader. His Holiness not a fine politician and cares a lot deeply about Jamaica.
And neighbor, might I remind you and remind the listeners, we're talking about people who many of them really don't understand the politics. We're talking about people who have their own personal interests as it relates to this. And we're talking about people who, for them, it is just a way to vent. For them, they have their own grouses. You see, the structure of political conversation comes out of political knowledge and political awareness. Not everybody has that. And sometimes, even though I'm angry based on what I see some laborites do, I still have to give some grace to them, because I can bet your neighbor, many of them hearts are in the right place. They just don't know how to analyze and interpret these things. And we have to give some grace to them. Now, it's sad that it is being done openly, and it is being done in a way that, you know, it is being done in a way that transcends regular media. Because just by us speaking here, you're there Germany already, neighbor.
Yes.
You know, you're
South Africa. Yes.
Yes. You know, so it's just sometime, and that's why I believe that the party, just like the PMP spend time to really meet and have conversation with its bloggers, especially leading up to the last election. They did it every couple months, just to let them know what they're doing and what even though nonsense them do, but just let them know that, okay, you know, we're glad we're not do, and this is how we wanted to approach it. The JLP, if they don't realize the importance of meeting up with those who will want to have these kind of conversations to get them understand what the politics is really about and how to approach it. If they not see that as important, then they are going to have these people out here like loose cannon, backing them in a corner with some of these comments. And this is something that I've repeated many times. Politics is no longer just the campaigning in the street on the van back or a few political ads on radio or TV. Politics now is more granular. And it takes into focus many different parts. And there's one significant part of the politics for the last 15, 20 years, social media. So those political practitioners need to now consider the importance of social media. And if you do, regulating political content on social media is basically having discussions with content creators across the board, not just the few who are popular, who have great numbers, but those who can cause great damage to the politics, whether they have the numbers or not. You have to have conversations with these people to help them to understand how to approach these things. Where the politicians who practice have to start having contact for many of these people to tell them that, listen, that situation yesterday, this is how I want you to have the
political education, and that should not be assumed.
A neighbor, I have been talking about the political education from 2023.
Yeah, but projecting, this is a broad space, and we're actually in a broad park here. You are such a knowledgeable labor right. Couldn't you pull together the team and say, let's have a discussion on how we tackle these things? I mean after Parliament forever, there's always a story, sir. Always a story. And as you said earlier, you can frame even a negative story positively,
Chuck said it earlier, neighbor. Chuck said it earlier. Everybody buy their own credit, put on their phone, and them have an idea of them own thing what they want to do. And since I came into this space, I realized not everybody can be spoken to. Not everybody can have a sensible conversation with you.
Well,
because they have their own idea of what it is they want to do and what it is they want to achieve from what they're doing. And so I have shared many different times on many of the platforms that we have to be mindful that in our very utterances here, we still represent an organization that needs us to protect it. Not many people understand that. Again, you have people from all walks of life, neighbor, and them come with their own idea of how to approach a particular situation. Again, Chuck said it, people put on their own credit. You can't tell people what to do. But instances like these, where them themselves walk into a trap.
Yes.
I am hoping that they are listening tonight, and I will join tomorrow. I don't think I'll be all that busy, so I will join conversations tomorrow. And I will try to help people to understand that, listen me, we have to be careful, notwithstanding your emotional situation and position on this matter. You have a greater duty, if you're going to add to the conversation, to put on a political hat and use a political common sense.
Yes.
This is a strategy, whether deliberately or otherwise. It is a perfect strategy, and the government now has the perfect situation to get this bill passed, get it going, and any other argument the PNP making in the country. It can be said that you agreed with Malahoo Fort. Malahoo Fort identified deficiencies. We have corrected those deficiencies that she identified. You agreed with the deficiencies that she identified by giving her a standing ovation. We are working with these amendments based on her intervention. That's it.
That's it. No. One more question, sir, because don't you think that there should be a public relations sensitization happening now in Jamaica about this bill and why people should support it? The people of Jamaica. I don't hear anything except
two or three nights ago when we spoke, neighbor.
Yes.
I remember when I said it, and Scratchy said that he doesn't agree. Neighbor, I have a mind for the politics and I have a political eye.
Did he say that?
He didn't agree wholeheartedly with what I was saying. He agreed with part. Take it to the people. You remember when I said that about 2 nights ago or so?
But this seems basic politics. That you have a bill of the magnitude and impact of Naira. I mean, I haven't read the bill. What I have done is gone online to to get summaries and things like that. And I've listened to I listened to it twice because of this program. But how many Jamaicans are going to read the bill? What Jamaicans are going to do is to connect perceptions.
Neighbor,
Uh-huh.
I might read the bill. I might, but not now. Jamaicans are busy now with the day-to-day hustle and bustle. Them not gonna have no time to go sit down, go them and read bill. But right now, somebody just reach in and then tired, then they even go be a god in bed. Tired.
Or even listen to the debate
Or even listen to the debates in the days, because many people have jobs that they can't even go on YouTube if you're watching them. Have to perform their duties. The government need to understand and rise to the occasion. Start in the 5 parishes that were affected. Have some town halls. Explain. You know what else is going to come out of that push, neighbor? The very MPs, the very PNP MPs are going to resist those kind of discussions. They are going to tell their people, they are going to send their political activists out again in the communities to tell their people, do not go to the town halls.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of the day, what the government need to create is a situation where the attempt is made to bring it to the people, and if the people is discouraged from coming to hear what is going to happen in your community, it's not the government's fault. The government cannot rightly argue and say that it is not their fault when they do not make the effort to do it.
Yeah, I think it's a strategic mistake.
The government need to take it to the people.
Yeah.
Take it to the people.
Absolutely. There should be a massive public relations built around this, because it is so important. That senior journalist in Jamaica, including yourself, Protecting, is suggesting that the 4th term hinges on this. This can't be taken lightly, man. And the PNP is pushing it as something that, is not good for Jamaica.
Neighbor, it is just 5 parishes. Start at the 5 parish. So the broader education campaign can be made via TV, radio for the rest of the country.
Yes.
But 5 parishes, present to yourself physically, but talk to the people.
Oh, God.
Because, not because the bill will pass next week, means by the snap of a finger everything will get done. It is still going to take 3-4 years.
Yes.
The amount of anguish we are going to happen in between this time is going to weigh heavily on the government's chances to even appeal to the voters in these constituencies to even look on them.
Yes.
You have to go have conversations with the people. Okay, pass the bill. After the bill pass, send it to the upper house, make them pass it. But in the meantime, while it's going through these stages, plan some town halls. Plan one town hall in Amobia.
Yeah, because the fact you're right, Protecting. The people are already dealing with some stress. And if you don't explain it, someone else will, and they're going to do so incorrectly.
If you left the vacuum, something going to fill it.
Yes.
Something is going to fill it, and that is the reason why the PNP have so much talk even about the bill.
Yeah. Because the people...
Because there's too much vacuum that always left. Neighbor, again, you know my argument. The JLP left too much loophole politically for the PNP to survive. Close the loopholes. Use your political apparatus to provide political cover for a government that is governing. Use the political body.
Yeah. Powerful.
The government is going to come under stress, neighbor.
Yes.
Before this thing reaches its crescendo.
Yes. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, Protecting, thank you so much for tonight. I have to move. My friends have arrived. I thank you, sir.
Neighbor.
Yes. We catch up with you tomorrow.
Yes, man. Listeners, good night.
By the way, you need to get Caroline to send you the link for YouTube, because when we go over there, you're gonna have to come there too.
Sure, neighbor.
Yes. Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. That is Protecting Jamaica, and my God, he is protecting Jamaica, is he not? He is protecting Jamaica and the values we represent. Listeners, I hope my friends on YouTube want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really hope that we are helping you. You know, I really hope that we are helping you to understand the issues a little bit more, to appreciate the nuances of the politics, to take you beyond the surface and beyond the arguments and into political strategy and looking at the real issues. This is the place where conversations matter. We don't just chat, we are substance. I want to thank you, my YouTubers, for tuning in to the program tonight. And we have good news for you. We have good news for you. We're gonna be live on YouTube on Monday, live and in living colors on YouTube. All of us will be over here on YouTube. Tomorrow we're gonna come back at 7 p.m. and we'll stay with you for another 3 hours, and then we will come here permanently on Monday. I hope you'll join us, and I hope that you are responding to the that tracker across your screen. Yeah, that's your prompt to support us staying on the air. We do have expenses to take care of. Earlier we lost power, and so we want to invest in some backup power, so that we will always be on. And your contributions help us to do so. So thank you for joining us tonight, YouTubers. Keep the chat, and please subscribe to Patreon. Subscribe to Patreon. We're going to be having some breaking news. Patreon is going to be the space for breaking news. Some things that we say on Patreon, we will not say it on the other spaces. So until we join you tomorrow, didn't hear from Harry tonight nor Scratchy, but I'm sure that they are listening in. Hope they'll be able to join us tomorrow. Want to thank the team, the moderator, the manager of the platform, Miss Caroline, the technical director, Shafreen, and the analyst, Scratchy, Protecting, and Harry. And I'm your host, one neighbor, your neighbor across the fence, always here for you. Love you so much, and appreciate all the support that you give. It's our Jamaica. Let us build it. You hear? We don't have anywhere else to go. Some of us. This is a marvelous country, and we deserve to fight for it. Let us fight for this land. There are those who want to rob us of it, but let us continue to fight for it, and your support helps us to do that. God bless you, YouTube. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.